What is up, fight fans? This is DJC Combat, and this Saturday in Toronto goes down the grudge match for the ages. Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. These two do not like each other. Bad blood is brewing, and I want to talk about this fight, give my prediction for this fight. Usually, I always talk about the main card, but this card ain't all that. I just want to focus on this fight, and I'll do another video later on Myra Shitara Bueno Silva versus Raquel Pennington. But let's talk about Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. I mean, this is a crazy matchup. You got an unlikely contender in Dracus versus an unlikely champion in Sean Strickland. I mean, if you would have told me a year ago that these two would take over the Whitaker Adesanya era, be in the title picture fighting each other, I would laugh in your face. I tell you to STFU, bro. That ain't happening, bro. Whitaker Adesanya rules, but that changed. We're like in some weird Twilight Zone reality where Dricus is the number one guy. Well, Izzy's number one. Dricus is number two. But Sean is the champion. No one other than Izzy in years since Wonderboy has been able to beat Robert, and Dricus went out there, dominated the fight, beat him everywhere, standing on the ground, knocked his ass out. And then Sean Strickland went out there. I mean, he wasn't even supposed to fight Israel. It was supposed to be Dricus. No one thought Sean had a chance. He goes out there, dominates Israel, and dominates him in the stand-up. Now here these two are fighting each other. Now no one's going to be taking them lightly. Everyone takes these guys seriously. This is why I love this sport, and this is such a good fight. You got two tough guys, two dogs going out there. They're going to scrap, and they don't like each other, which makes it more exciting. And it's a dangerous fight for both guys. And there's a lot of unknowns in this matchup because Dricus du Plessis, even though he's got like a nose job, we know that sort of maybe played a part in him having bad cardio, is not being able to breathe out of his nose. So maybe his cardio would be better, but since he got the nose job, he fought Whitaker. That fight lasted 2 rounds. We did not see that matchup go past the second. And who knows what could have happened if, let's say, Whitaker could have survived the second round and it was a 5-round fight. The outcome maybe could have been different or not. The damage that he took in the first 2 rounds might have affected him going forward, but still, if let's say Whitaker didn't get messed up that badly early and they go past 2, what if Whitaker takes over as it goes on? You know what I'm saying? And Sean is a completely different opponent from a guy like Robert Whitaker. And, you know, Dricus is a different opponent from a guy like Adesanya, which I'll get into. But the difference between a guy like Strickland and Whitaker is Sean Strickland is better defensively sound than Robert. He's better in the pocket than Robert, more durable, better boxing than Robert Whitaker. I think he's bigger than Whitaker as well. He won't be as undersized going up against Dricus like Robert was. And it's funny because both guys are former welterweights. But yeah, there's that. You know, and I don't know. Robert Whitaker's style can be a little bit predictable with the way he lunges and blitzes. And, you know, Dricus, he did his homework and he was able to counter what Robert does. He was able to counter that blitz and get the finish. You know, he came prepared. He did his homework. And that's what Sean did in his last fight against Israel Adesanya. But what I want to mention with the unknowns and the whole cardio thing, and we haven't seen Dricus. I mean, we've seen him go in the 3rd round against Tavares. Didn't look that good in that fight. And he actually was in the 3rd round against Darren Till, and he finished him in the 3rd. But obviously, Strickland is not Darren Till, and he's better than Brad Tavares. But Sean Strickland is a very hard guy to finish. He rarely gets stopped via strikes. Only Alex Pereira was able to do that to him in the middleweight division. He did get knocked out by Daleski dos Santos, but that was 4 years prior in a different division. Usman dropped him, but Sean Strickland is very tough, but he's got good defense. It's hard to hit him, and a lot of people are talking about Dricus' knockout power, but what people don't realize is even if you're a knockout artist, you're not always going to land the home run every time, you know? Every power puncher has that one fight where they don't get the knockout, where they don't land the shot that gets them the finish. Jared Cannonier was unable to land that shot, that home run on Sean. Pereira was able to do it because of his kickboxing skills and the way he was able to set him up. But Dricus does not set his shots up like that. He's just sloppy, doesn't care, goes out there and throws wildly, awkwardly, and he is able to land, but he's hit guys who are not Sean Strickland. And the thing about Sean, man, he's got the experience on Dricus du Plessis, UFC experience, fight experience in general. He comes from a way better camp. I think he's got better coaches like Eric Nixick, very good coach who helped him beat Adesanya. So he's gonna have a great game plan going in. I think he's got better sparring partners. I mean, he trained with Ngannou when Ngannou was in the UFC. Magomed Ankalaev, he trains with him. He's trained with Alex Pereira, a guy who's beat him. You know, he trains with Johnny Eblen as well, the Bellator middleweight champion, learning from the best. So he's got that advantage as well, training with way better opponents. He's got experience sparring, having rounds against better guys. And he's not the easiest guy in the world to put away and finish. So Dricus du Plessis is not guaranteed to knock him out. We don't know how his cardio is when it comes to fighting in the championship rounds. We've not seen him in the championship rounds. Sean has been 5 rounds multiple times. Multiple times, you know, and whereas Dricus knocked out Whitaker in the second, Sean Strickland battered Izzy over 5 rounds, did not slow down, and I do not think du Plessis could have done that to Israel Adesanya. Now, weirdly enough, I don't think Sean Strickland would really do Whitaker the way du Plessis did, because he's not that much of a physical powerhouse like du Plessis. But it doesn't matter, you know. I think both their wins are very impressive, but I think beating Israel the way Sean did is more impressive than beating Robert the way Dricus du Plessis did. The only thing that concerns me in this fight, though, is the emotions. Sean Strickland's very riled up emotional because Dricus mentioned his childhood trauma, and now Sean's talking about stabbing him, so I don't like what I'm hearing. And if Sean goes out there emotional, he's not in his element, he's going to get caught making a mistake. And he will get knocked the F out by Dricus du Plessis if he tries to slug it out with him because he's emotional. Or he could walk into a takedown, get taken down and brutalized. But if Strickland stays within his element, I like his chances, man. And Sean Strickland, even though du Plessis is a well-rounded guy, and on paper he has the advantage of being more well-rounded, and Sean's just a boxer, Sean is also himself very well-rounded. He also is a high-level grappler, he just doesn't use it. But he's got very solid takedown defense, so I think du Plessis will definitely struggle to get the fight to the ground. I think if he's going to have any kind of grappling success, I think he has to hurt Sean on the feet first, because if Strickland is fresh, he's going to be able to defend a lot of takedowns. If he gets taken down, he'll keep his composure, survive on the ground, and get back up and get in du Plessis' face and outbox him. So it's a very tough fight to call, because I could see this fight going multiple different ways, but I'm going to favor Sean Strickland to win this fight. I think he's going to keep the belt because I do think he's going to be able to stay within himself, stay within his element, and I just think on paper he's actually the better fighter than du Plessis. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to, while putting on that pressure, he's not going to walk into range and brawl like an idiot, but he's going to use that teep kick that he did on Izzy to kind of keep du Plessis on his heels, keep him from closing that distance, to kind of neutralize that power. And I think that defense of Sean on the feet is going to shine. I think du Plessis is going to have a very hard time catching him, landing on the button. And I think he's going to get hit more than Sean's going to get hit. So I just see Sean just outstriking him, outboxing him. I think the early rounds are going to be dangerous, and du Plessis might even win the early rounds, like Abbas Magomedov. This fight's going to go longer than 2 rounds, though. But I just think Dricus will slow down when he sees he's unable to finish Sean Strickland on the feet or ground in the early rounds. When he sees this matchup is not as easy as the Whitaker fight, I think he's going to have an adrenaline dump. And I think around maybe the 3rd, 4th round, I do see Sean Strickland pouring on the pressure and finishing Dricus du Plessis against the cage with a barrage of punches like Roberto Soldic did to Dricus du Plessis. So I think Sean Strickland wins by a late rounds TKO because I'm actually very confident Strickland can get past the first 2 rounds. A lot of people say that this fight's going to come down to can Sean survive the early storm, make it to the late rounds, or can Dricus get him out of there early? And if your best chance to win against the fighter is an early finish, I can't be that confident in your chances. So I'm going to trust Sean Strickland to be able to, survive, weather the early storm, and put it on Dricus du Plessis and cook him in the late rounds. So I got Sean Strickland winning this matchup, but if du Plessis gets it done, I won't be shocked. He's very good. Both guys are good. I just think Sean Strickland is slightly the better fighter. And he's coming to win, man. Look at the shape that he's in. I think he's going to channel his anger in the right way and use that to come out like a calculated killer and beat the crap out of du Plessis and get the finish when it counts. But we'll see. But I want to know your predictions in the comment section down below. Who do you guys see winning? Dricus du Plessis or Sean Strickland? Like and subscribe, and peace out. And be on the lookout for my next prediction video for Myra Silva versus Raquel Pennington.